Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome, or whatever day it is that you are watching from. I'm excited for today's Hot Topic Tuesday, Tuesday tips. My question to you is, how effective are you truly being, if you're being absolutely honest with yourself, in building your business online, especially utilizing and leveraging social media? Today's hot topic is 5 specific ways to be very intentional and very effective in building your business and taking it online. And absolutely, you can evaluate these, and it kind of gives you a little guideline for how you're doing, right? Because so many of us have said, I'm building on social media. Of course, I'm using attraction marketing. Of course, I'm building and using skills. When in fact, I would say over 90% are probably doing it very, very wrong and completely ineffective. If you're new to the page or just jumping on, let me know where you're tuning in from. Introduce yourself, say hi, please. I love the interaction. Even if it's on replay, just put hashtag replay. And if you get some value out of this, hang out to the very end to get all 5, and hopefully they will help you today in starting to be more effective in building online. All right, I am Emily, and I'm super passionate about helping especially mamapreneurs build and be effective online, right? Because how many of us can relate to the parental struggle of trying to build your business and work from home when in fact it has turned out to be anything but work from home? And let me just tell you, with this little pandemic craziness going on right now, I have never been more thankful to actually be able to work from home. How many of you guys can relate? All this craziness about the corona, I'm like, thank God at this point that I truly do work from home, right? Because so many of us have had, business, maybe businesses, multiple businesses in the past that you've built traditionally, and so much of it entails you literally, I ran myself ragged, right? I literally thought that to be successful, I needed to run around with a chicken, like a chicken with my head cut off, on calls at every spare moment between schlepping kids around from sport to sport. Listen, I get it. I feel like we can all relate to the struggle of actually, working a home business. I think I thought in the beginning that I would be able to, work from home and then enjoy those hours, when instead I found out that the hours that I was working from home were the hours that I quit personal training. And the reason why I quit personal training is because most people wanted personal trainers very early in the morning and very late at night. And if you've got kids, what are the times that you want to be home with those kids for those moments? Very early in the morning to get them up and off to school and breakfast and all that, right? Taking them to and from school. And then at night when you want to be able to have dinner together and get them to their events. So that they are able to do things. I wanted those moments. And what I found was I literally was doing all of the things, and it wasn't working in successfully duplicating and multiplying, my business. It just wasn't being effective. I was very consistent in sharing online, very consistent with, I'm on Facebook or I'm on Instagram or whatever it is. But when I was looking at it, it was crickets, right? How many of you guys can relate to, well, I'm posting stuff, but no one's commenting, right? Or no one's buying my stuff, or, I'm just not getting anything. I don't know what, or you get stuck in the scroll hole, which I'm totally guilty of. How many of you guys are guilty of? You get on to post or to be on social media, and then you're like, God, an hour went by. And how effective is that truly in actually moving your business forward or building online? The answer is it's probably not, right? So I just think as an entrepreneur, the trick is to be able to work from home. What do you need to focus on to be the most effective, right? Because like I said, I thought working from home would be awesome. I'm like, this is great. But what I found was I was literally working my business in every hour of the day, and it was exhausting, you guys. Like, I feel like I literally got to the point where I felt guilty if I wasn't like constantly thinking about it, or, right, like we've all had those moments where like, well, I really care about what everyone else thinks, but you're secretly trying to think about how you can slip in your opportunity or your product, right? You have that like mentality in your back of your brain because that's what you think that it takes to be able to build, a big, strong business from home, right? I certainly thought that way. I thought that I literally needed to prospect every single person around me, when in fact, not only was I probably annoying those people, and they may or may not have been interested, it's one thing to share what you do. It's another to feel like you need those people to order or to look at your stuff for your business to take off, right? So there's that work-life balance as a parent where it's like, okay, how can I be the most effective? But also for me, it was, how can I just work normal business hours? Like, how do I do that? And I know many of you guys might be saying, well, Em, that's great for you, but like I have a full-time gig still, or I have a full-time job, or I'm a single parent, trying to like start this side hustle and learn to build online. It doesn't really matter. It's whenever you set those hours, I wanted to be able to work my business, be effective, be productive, be able to massively leverage it and grow it without repeating the same things over and over, and then be able to put it down and it not to creep in. I wanted to have family time and actually have family time. Like not have to say like, oh, I got to go run and do a call. And then that call take an hour, right? And then I come back to dinner and there's like, oh, well, I have another call because that one ran over, so I have another one, right? And I get it. There's going to be days or there's going to be periods or times where, maybe the business is taking over. But for me, this happened for years. And I felt like for me, it wasn't working. But not only that, it wasn't working for my family. I needed that work-life balance. And sometimes when you work from home, it's harder to create that work-life balance, right? Because when I went to a job or to work, it was easier for me to maybe leave it there and then come home and then have that family time. Right? So I got you. For me, it wasn't just working, it was the systems. And I got to the point where I was like, what's wrong with me? Why is this not working for me? Hey guys, if you're just popping on, introduce yourself or say hey, I appreciate it. Let me know where you're hanging out from. I wanted to be able to enjoy that, and I needed systems. So I changed my mentality and really got to work into learning and bettering myself, but to put systems into place that would help me to leverage my time. And one of my really good friends and mentors now, she's like, look, if you have to repeat yourself, anything, whether it's a presentation or anything you're sharing with your team, more than once, make a video. So this isn't even like the 5 that I have to share with you guys today, but I'm going to share this with you. If you find that you are having to repeat yourself more than once, make a video. It's so easy to make videos, and they don't have to be pretty. Y'all can see my lives. Like, they're not the prettiest. Get the point through, get the message across so that you're not having to take time out of your day and their day and figure the times out, right? That's tough. It's tough to be able to talk live, right? If you do it in Messenger, great. But if you just make a quick video of yourself and whatever it is that you need to get across, whether it's sharing your product, your opportunity, or whatever it is, make yourself a system, because you're going to be so much happier. I mean, even my mom was like, you repeat yourself a lot. Like, don't you get tired of saying the same things? Yes, I did get tired of sharing the same things over and over and over. So look, I'm effective now. I'm able to build this in, an hour or so. So you might have, that full-time job, and you're like, hey, I got a power hour a day. I need to make this effective. I need to be able to build online because I don't want to be out and about. I want to come home, work my power hour for an hour, and then be able to put it down, but I still want to be productive, right? I want that life-work balance from working from home. I don't want to get lost in the scroll hole on social media and then get off feeling like I accomplished nothing, all right? So the bonus on making your video, if you have to repeat yourself, that's a bonus. That's not actually the 5 that I have to share with you today, but I will say it again, it's worth repeating. If you have anything that you are sharing consistently in your business, whether it's a product, opportunity, team, whatever, make a video. Make a video and just literally save yourself so much time and effort, because that alone is probably worth doing this live today. All right. So let's talk about the 5 things that are going to be super effective in helping you build. Number 1, if you are building online, you need to build and grow an audience. And unfortunately, I'm just going to share this with you, like it or not, it's probably not going to be long-term on your personal page. You might have 5,000 friends and followers or whatever on your personal page, but those are your personal friends. They probably have their own business, their own careers, their own whatever. Maybe they know what you do, maybe they don't. Maybe they care, maybe they don't. They're not your highly motivated prospects. So stop trying to pitch them your stuff. It's not that you can't share it or be open with it, or if it comes up, go with the flow. But if you're dependent on that as the basis and foundation for your business, it's only going to take you so far before those people probably get annoyed. And why on earth would you pitch to the same 5,000 people when you can move over, build a business page, build that audience that are specific to what it is that you do, and literally run an ad, whether it's an engaged post, a likes campaign, a traffic ad, even if it's just to your page, or if you've built out a blog or a website, running that or a conversion ad. If you're not there yet, don't let that scare you. Basically, you need a business page because you can grow an audience, and you don't want it on your personal, and you don't want your personal on your business page. Grow your audience. All right. If you do not understand that very first step in growing that audience, reach out. I would be more than happy to meet with you and do a quick strategy call on getting you started. Absolutely, because I've been there where I'm like, didn't understand the difference. Okay. So there's lots of ways to do that as far as building your audience, but it needs to be done. If you are building online, number one step. All right. Number two, you have to engage with those people. Right? Like, it's no fun. The teacher in me does not like it when I don't get feedback. Now, I get a lot in Messenger, which is cool. Not everybody feels comfortable, sharing, especially if it's a public page where they don't know the other people on there. They might not share, but basically you need to get engaged and get to know your audience. So if you're growing your audience on your business page, you've got to engage with them. You've got to get to know them, because how are you supposed to help them if you don't know who it is that you're helping, right? So there's lots of ways to do this, and it takes time. You have to be active, right? I've had somebody that I've been working with recently. She's like, I don't get it. I've been on for every single day. And I'm like, how many days? 2 weeks. Okay, well, you're doing good, right? But we want this quick fix. I'm like, it takes time. You're kind of in this for the long haul. If this is how you want to build, just trust the system and understand that this is going to work, but it takes time. You have to be seen. And if you haven't been active and then all of a sudden you're on here, you got to stir up that algorithm. And so some of that is, yes, you are engaging with people, but you've got to give it a little bit of time. I was consistent even way before I've learned the effective methods I've learned now in being consistent and posting and, commenting on stuff and engaging with people, even before moving it over to a business page, which is kind of like starting over in a lot of ways. But it's worth it, right? It's already been way more effective than what I tried to build on my personal page for years in being consistent there. So just give it time. The third one is absolutely vital. You've got to be a content creating machine. Content. So many people get this wrong. So please, this bears repeating. Be a content creating machine. Do not get on social media expecting to sell people. Because I was just talking about this with one of my business partners this morning. We were like, we're almost immune to the sponsored posts now, because there's so many ads that as an entrepreneur, if you like different pages, you are pitched so many ads on Facebook that we've almost become immune to them, right? So if you are creating valuable content and you're not just pitching your stuff or promoting and selling constantly, and that's all that you're doing, people will return to you because you're engaging, because you're informative, because you motivate or inspire them in their business, because whatever it is that you're sharing, the content that you're sharing is valuable. So before you do anything, somebody was just asking hey, I made my business page, thanks. What do I do now? Well, now you think about the people that you want to serve within your business, because that's what your business is, right? You offer a service or a product. So what content, what information, content's a fancy word for info. What can you give them that they would think is valuable, right? And then start to create that. Give them a reason to come back. Now, I will say video is super hot right now. So you absolutely need to be flipping doing video. There's just no excuse not to do video, because it will pop up in people's news feeds like nothing else that you could write or post in a standard image or whatever can. So, give people a reason to watch you, to reach out, to engage with you, because those can kind of be done together, right? You can be growing an audience. You can be engaging with people. You can be creating content that people find valuable. And it's amazing when that happens. I have a friend who literally did not want to do Facebook Lives for her business, and she's in health and wellness, and she has a page, but she decided to go live. She did this 14-day challenge. Maybe you guys have friends that have done this. And so she went live, and I was floored at how many views she got, the amazing information. Like, I literally was like watching her, and I work with her all the time, and I'm scribbling notes down. I took pages of notes, and I was like, holy cow. First off, how do you keep all this knowledge? And she had her notes, that's fine. But it was so valuable, and basically she was sharing regurgitated from someone else, and she gave that person the credit, right? We got to do that. But it was so engaging, and she had people engaged on it, and I was like, wow, you've got to keep these going because you're amazing at this, and you are so valuable. People, like person after person was like, this is awesome, you did great, this is good information, I needed to know this, right? And even if those people may never read the book, and all you did was read an interesting book and share about it, right? And this was on health and wellness, which is relevant to her business. It was amazing. People were so appreciated, so appreciative. So, it's important to give people a reason to come back to you, because every single time she did a video, she was on my radar, right? She was on other people's radar because she was creating content that people found valuable, and they were like, wow, that was amazing. And if that was amazing and she didn't try to sell me anything or pitch me anything or whatever, not that that's a bad thing, but that comes last, not first. And most people have it flip-flopped, right? They're promote. Oh, let me grow my audience, right? After those people are sick to death of whatever it is that you're promoting, or you get added to a group, right? Or, oh, let me put you in this, and it's just product. Why on earth would I get back in that page? Like, all it is what's on sale for the day, and I don't even know those products that well because I just got added to the group. I don't know you, I don't like you, I don't trust you, right? That know, like, trust is so valuable. So when you're creating that content, you're also building that know, like, and trust, because you're not just promote. You're value. Oh, by the way, if you found this valuable, you might find this valuable, right? And then if it works, great. If not, those people still got all of that value because that's what you offered for free. You've got to lead with that value and content. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. I could do a whole live just on content. All right, number 4, and I'm sure you've heard this one, personal development. It's super important, and you can't skip over it, because I personally am not the same person, and I've been an entrepreneur and owned my own business for 20 years. But it's a growth, right? And it's a process. And sometimes it looks like this, right? I've had times where I've done great. I've had times where I've folded down a business, and I've had times where I've built amazing and then got burnt out, right? It's a journey. So you've got to continue to build and grow yourself. You've got to have that growth mindset, because let me tell you something. Even those top earners, who are amazing to me, the ones that I built old school, if you refuse to learn and grow, then even at whatever level you're at, you're gonna get stagnant, and that's gonna breathe through, right? Like, how many of you guys have met someone and you're like, even if they're successful, you're like, wow, how have you done this? Most of the time it's because they've remained hungry and they have literally stayed relevant. Well, newsflash, y'all, the internet's not going anywhere, social media is not going anywhere. So if you want to learn and grow, chances are you probably need to do it through social media if you're building your business. You've got to stay relevant. You've got to attract those new people. And to do that, you have to work on yourself. You have to, how you think, how you speak, how you act, especially to yourself, because I get it. I literally am probably the harshest critic of myself, right? No one's going to be harder on me than me. But as I like to say, I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? Recently, there's a new coach at the gym, and he's new, right? He's super nice, got a long way to go, but it's like, whoo, he's awesome. But he keeps saying, well, I just he's trying too hard, right? We've all had those people join us. You're like, oh, they're super hungry, which is awesome. They're just trying so hard. You're like, hey, just ease up a little bit. And he's like, well, I'm a perfectionist. I want to get it right. And I pointed out to him, I'm like, look, how many times do you overlook someone because they are too perfect, right? We're so immune to selling that if it's too perfect, they're not going to think that they can do it. And that was part of the reason for me creating this page. I'm like, look, I want the mamapreneur who doesn't have to get in a business suit on the daily, right? I want to attract the people because I'm not perfect like that. So if you're a struggling, perfectionist, that personal development piece is super important, Because as I say now, I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? And how many of us love to watch the bloopers? Why do we like to watch the bloopers on people? Because it's so much more relatable to be imperfect. So when you're building online and we say, be yourself, what does that mean? That means to be imperfect. And you've got to be vulnerable to do that. And to be vulnerable for me, that meant personal development and how I think about myself and saying, you know what? It's okay that I show up in sweats. It doesn't matter anything about what's in here, right? That has nothing to do with how well I do my job at this point. And so I wanted to relate to people who wanted to work from home and didn't want to get in a business suit or fix their hair up, even if it was for a Facebook Live. So that personal development piece is so important, because if you've had someone new on your team who's brand new to being an entrepreneur, how many of you have had to share with them that they have to change the way that they think, right? And we've all had to do that. But like specifically if they're brand new, or how they speak to themselves. If you're in health and wellness and you're sharing with clients like I have in the gym, it's like, how do you talk to yourself? A lot of times we wouldn't speak to other people like we speak to ourselves. So why do we think that's okay? And that's not going to progress you in your business. It's absolutely going to keep you stuck if you're stuck in how you're thinking. So that personal development piece, even though I've listed it as number 4 of these 5, bears repeating, because you have to have that continual growth. And on social media, you've got to stay relevant. You've got to stay plugged in, because what worked in 2015 does not work now. And what worked last year probably will not work next year, or be less and less effective. So it's more important than ever. And I will say the last one is promote. So just to recap, let me look at my notes here. Grow an audience, engage with people in that audience, create content, add value, right? Personal development, and last is to promote. And it bears repeating in there, promoting is important. You are running a business. And I have had people join my team or join me, or that I've worked with, that are like, they can't ask for the sale. You are in business. And if you're leading with value and you're giving content, you should not feel bad when you do have something to offer, because you're not like every other person on, social media trying to promote. You have started with value. So now if you're just like, hey, show me the money, give me your credit card. Like, I've got this. This is amazing for you. You need this. You shouldn't feel bad for that either. You have to be able to understand your worth. Going back to that personal development piece, if you don't know that you're worth something, then you're going to have a hard time asking for the sale. Look, I started personal training like right out of college. And at the time, I just wanted to get like clients, right? And so I think I made like $10 an hour. I was in North Carolina. Well, I moved to California, and that quickly turned to $30, right? I made way more. And I remember thinking that was like amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm making $30 an hour. And I was just trying to get my clients, right? And because I needed people. And so I'm just trying to get those clients, and I'm hustling, right? Well, before long, I think it was maybe a couple of years, I had a waiting list. So those of us that have done well, what happens when you have a waiting list? Well, you kind of have to bump up your prices, right? By the time I finished personal training full time, when I was doing this full time before my family and all of that, but I was charging $120 to $140 an hour for personal training. And I kept up on all my certifications. I went to every single thing I could. After I had my daughter, I had gained and lost 100 pounds because of health issues. But why did I charge that much? Why was I charging that much? Because I knew my worth. So if you go through these 4 that I've told you, and you get to number 5 and you're like, promote, but you just told me to add value and to make sure to give information to people, but now you're telling me to sell them? Yes, because you're not leading with that. You're still in business, right? How many of us have run an ad and then some, troll on Facebook gets under there and says, oh, this is BS. This isn't free. There's a sale at the end of this. Sometimes I just want to go, yeah, you idiot. Like, of course there's a sale at the end of this. I am a business owner, right? But you don't have to buy it. It's optional. You want to take the free information piece? Take the free information piece. Leave the sale at the end. But the people I'm looking for are the people that go, wow, okay, I resonate with her. I can relate to her. I'm a momapreneur. I'm balancing all of this. I appreciate all of the information that you've shared. And you know what? I want the ebook. And I don't care that it costs $27 because that's not an arm and a leg. And I find it valuable. Enough said, right? So promote, show me the money. Don't be afraid to ask for that sale. Even if you're building online, even if you're leading with value and creating content and getting things out there for free, right? If you focus on these 5 things, then it really does keep you in alignment with moving forward and building your business online, because it's really, really, really tricky to get lost in the weeds. I have been there. I think we've all been there. You get shiny object syndrome, latest course, latest this, oh, new Instagram, Twitter. Y'all, I have not tackled Twitter. I'm on there. I've got a little repeater. I don't need a second by second of people's day. It just doesn't appeal to me. I have found that, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, blog, that's been more effective for me. Listen, I'm not knocking it if that works for you. I'm just saying that you can get lost in the overwhelm of all of these things that you think that you need to do. You do not even need, technically really need a website to be able to crush it online. Now, I would say that if you've been in this for a while and you've, burned through your warm market, it's time to build a business page. It's time to grow that audience like we talked about. Engage with them. Maybe run some likes campaigns, some engagement posts, a traffic ad or two, right? Build it to your page. Build those people up. Work on your personal development. And then promote. But not every single one where your news feed on your page is nothing but your product, your service, and your opportunity. Because how many of us get those even in an email list and you don't even open them anymore? Because it's just going to be them trying to sell, because that's all they're doing. They're not adding or giving you any value that's a free. And look, marketers are smart, right? They're going to play the game, but you are too. And you can be a smart business owner and really be more professional than the average person who's literally just jumping on their personal page and spamming their news feed, posing with their product and talking about what it does, or, it has this and all the ingredients, right? People do not care, right? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So that is a saying for a reason. And when you lead with that and you are vulnerable and you share your personality and your heart, then people are drawn to that. And that's what true attraction marketing is, right? You're attracting your tribe to you because of the valuable content and the caring nature that you provide, because you don't always have an ulterior motive trying to sell or pitch them something. I hope this resonates with you guys. I really hope you've gotten value. There are skill sets involved behind each one: creating the business page, running a likes campaign. You got to get it to 100 before you can run anything off of that. Engaging with people, promoting. How do I promote? If you want to learn the specifics of this and you still feel stuck, you're like, hey, I think these were great. Thank you for sharing, but I don't know the first thing about how to start a business page. I would love to help you do that. Reach out. We'll do a quick strategy call. If you're like, hey, I don't have time to do a call, I get these 5. I'm going to stay focused on these 5. Thank you. Great. Hit the ground running. Start growing your audience. Start engaging with them. Work on your personal development, right? Create that content. Be a content creating machine and start promoting yourself, right? After you've added super value for people. If you are ready and you're like, yes, I really want to recruit and learn to do this on social media, I will say we have a social media recruiter. It's to create social media surge in enrolling. It's the best ways of how to connect with people without being spammy, which is what most people are doing. There's free tools on there for how to establish your credibility, that know, like, trust factor that's vital to selling anything online. Also, there is a one thing to never do on social media. If that's interesting to you and you would find that of value, you can head on over to EmilySmileyLive.com, go under the products, and it is called Social Media Recruiter. I believe it's like $47 right now. It's a game changer as far as how to build and recruit on social media. So if you're still not sure about that, like I said, feel free to reach out. Use these 5 to stay focused in building your business online. And with that ends our Hot Topic Tuesday tips today. I hope this gives you a clear picture of your daily DMO and what to focus on and not get lost in those weeds. All of us mamapreneurs out there, we have to unite. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.